Hello and welcome. We're going to talk about how to move towards love in your life, in your heart, and in your relationships, and what love actually is. And we've discussed that real love is care and consideration for another person's well-being without expecting anything in return.
I don't know. I think I deserve a nice house and a car and a stipend to live on.
You deserve all the things.
That's why I got married.
I thought you got married for my baby blues. You do deserve all the things.
But seriously,
that's a separate...
seriously.
You do.
No, I didn't mean that. But I'm just saying, that
it's like
that is
calling me out. No, but seriously.
No, but that's the sort of, that's kind of an extreme. That's a spoof for someone to just come out and say that. But that's the kind of transactional behavior that sometimes we show up with in relationships.
Yeah. And what love actually is it's not attraction, it's not affection, and it's not attachment. It can include all of those things, but those things in and of themselves are not love.
Right.
Love is, I want to give to you, I want to serve, I want to be there for you, and I'm not expecting anything in return. I will welcome it if I get it.
Right.
And in some relationships, if you don't get anything in return, you can say, well, this is not a relationship. I still have love for you, I still care for you, and I still want good things for you. But if it's only one direction, then it's not a relationship.
Yeah.
Right? But love is just that feeling of regard for the comfort and well-being of another person. And in order to give that, you have to get it for yourself. You have to create it for yourself. Otherwise, and I'm going to speak from experience here, in my relationship with you, and frankly, in all of my relationships, I was seeking acceptance. I was seeking belonging, and I was seeking validation that I was good enough. The performance things that I've done through the years was to entertain a crowd, yes, but also for them to validate my worth through their laughter and through their applause. In our relationship, I did similar things, and I engaged in what Dr. Greg Bear in his book, Real Love, calls getting and protecting behaviors. I would do things for you, not out of love for you, but with the expectation that you would fill my bucket with affection and make me feel worthwhile.
And words of affirmation.
And words of affirmation.
And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with any of those things. And really, it's the intention is the difference.
It's the intention, because I could give those things to you, and if I didn't get them back from you over a long enough period of time, I could still love you and say, well, but this isn't working and it's not a relationship.
Right.
Or I could give them to you and you could give them back, but not out of duty or obligation because I did something nice for you, but out of sheer love, real love for me, right?
Right.
And then protecting behaviors is, what do I need to do to keep you happy, keep you from being upset with me? Not you per se, but
I can be angry.
Yeah, there's a side. And what I realized is I did this in all of my relationships, and that I didn't actually love people. I had affection for people, and I was attached to people, but as long as there was the expectation of something in return, it wasn't actually love. I found that for me personally, I had to give that love to myself. I often tell people that there's a lie that's out there that you can't love somebody unless you love yourself. And what I would say is, no, I know plenty of people who love the people around them, but they hate themselves. But what you can't do is let others love you. You can't let that affection in because you can't believe in it. But on further contemplation, it's actually true that you can't love others until you love yourself, because you can have affection and attachment for them, but you're always expecting them to fill your bucket. You
can't give something you don't have.
Yeah. And there's always like this other purpose for it. And the more I've started to love myself, and I'm on this journey right now, I'm not saying I've arrived, but the more I've practiced self-love, self-acceptance, self-compassion, walking without judgment towards myself. And when I say without judgment, it's a worth judgment, not a behavior judgment. I can absolutely judge behavior as that's not my best. I can change that. But a worth judgment for myself, I've learned to not be disappointed or to feel jaded or jilted if I don't get in return what I was expecting or hoping for, and to just love and to just give love. And it's a really peaceful place to be.
What are our action steps, right? Like,
how do we get there?
Right. At some point, we come to the awareness of what real love is and what facade love is, and how we have these getting and protecting behaviors. And worth attachments are in there too. The things that I tie my worth to, and they have to do with what we value. Yeah. So for example, for you, you really value relationships. Like they energize you. both on a large scale and a small scale. Being with people, serving people, like, it energizes you. That's not true for me.
No. You value relationships, but they don't energize you.
No, they don't energize me. And I get my fulfillment out of tasks and accomplishment and achieving, right? And so those are the things that I tie my worth to. Of course, you would tie looking for acceptance to your relationships, just like I tied my worth to what I accomplished. And then we have experiences in our life that push up against those worth ties, and we're left questioning, what is my worth?
Yeah.
What is my value? If it's not in other people validating, if it's not in the trophies I've won or the accomplishments or being the best, what is my worth? Where is my value? And those hit at some really core needs of worth, of acceptance, and of self-love. When you come to this awareness that what you've been doing is giving your worth away, or attaching your worth to things that are outside yourself that you can't control.
And you can't count on.
Yeah. And you go through this process of bringing your worth from out here, wherever out here is, to inside yourself, and you realize that you've always had it. And your worth is innate. But it is a process of learning that and reminding yourself of that, and literally rewiring your brain, right? To perceive your experiences differently than you've always perceived them. Because I asked you, what do you do with your clients when they're in this place of awareness that then leads them on a journey of growth? Because once we get to this place of awareness, what happens inevitably for all of us is judgment comes swooping in and saying, how could I be so stupid? How could I show up like this?
How could I not see that?
Yeah. How I can't believe that I treated people that way. I can't believe I had that expectation. I can't believe, like, I'm the therapist.
Yeah.
I can't
should have known
believe
better. Yeah.
I was doing this, right?
When it's your life, it's harder to see.
So that internal, harsh, critical judgment comes swooping in as soon as you've had the awareness, and it's painful, right? It's a painful awareness. And the question is, what do we do with that? And the first step is always compassion for yourself. It's always self-compassion. It's always understanding.
Well, and I found a lot of people are very compassionate with the flaws and weaknesses of other people because they want compassion for their flaws and weaknesses. And so they give that out.
Or they just have a good heart.
Or they just have a good heart.
Right.
But they're very harsh with themselves.
Right.
That other people don't deserve judgment or rejection for their flaws, but I certainly do. Yeah. And I know I've stepped in that trap myself. And it's and to recognize, like, oh, I actually can give myself that compassion and understanding. That I can give myself what I give other people, which is, you're already enough. You're already good enough. You have that worth. It's innate. You can take steps, sure, to shine brighter or to be better every day, but the worth is already there. And practicing the compassion for myself that I give to other people, it's hard sometimes.
At least for me, what's really powerful in that journey, because everything needs to make sense to me. I'm a logic person. Not everybody has that need. But recognizing that my getting and protecting behaviors, they were always coping mechanisms. And quite often, they were born out of filling a need that I didn't know how to meet in a better way, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times these things come from childhood, right? They come from what we innately value, what our needs are. It could have come from traumas, anywhere on the spectrum. And so recognize that you've always done the best that you know how with where you're at.
Yeah.
And so love and appreciate yourself for taking care of yourself, for keeping yourself safe, all the things. But then ask yourself the question, is this serving me now? Right?
Yeah.
I have a greater awareness. Is this serving me now? Is this what I want to create in my life? And if the answer is yes, good job, keep doing it. But if the answer is no, then going through the process of saying, okay, what do I want to create instead?
Yeah.
What would that look like? And then journaling is a powerful tool for going down that path.
So what do you think we should have these fine folks journal? What would their assignment be? What's the question that they should answer?
I recognize that for all of us, this is a journey. And I know I spent quite a few years stuck in this place of recognizing that I believed Logically, I didn't believe it, but in my heart, I believed that I was unlovable.
Yeah.
Right? Because, couple marriages and a few other experiences will do that to a person. I call these incongruent beliefs, right? Where logically we may know one thing, but in our heart we feel something
Emotionally,
else.
it's something else entirely.
Right.
Yeah.
And so going through that process of when you get triggered or when there's an interaction, that triggers those incongruent beliefs of saying, okay, how do I feel in this moment? What's going on for me? And then releasing that belief and receiving the belief that you actually want. There's a lot of powerful tools for that. We walk you through it step by step in our innate healing program. If that's something that you want support doing, we're here for you. But also there's a lot of beautiful affirmations out there. There's a lot of beautiful meditations. There's one from Insight Timer called Loving and Liking Yourself.
So Insight Timer is the app.
Yeah.
It's a meditation app, and then Loving and Liking Yourself is the one you would search for.
Yeah, but you can look up, there's hundreds of meditations, right? That's
Yeah.
just one, a 15-minute one I've liked doing. But recognizing that you're on a journey and having a process of moving from where you're at to where you want to be is powerful. And doing that through journaling, through meditation, and having a therapist, a close friend that can support you in that.
Love it. There you go, folks. That's how to move towards love. You have everything you need to get started. Thank you for trusting us as we learn about our emotions, how to process them, and how to move towards a place of wholeness. We'll see you next time.